Hi, welcome to this video tutorial in Pro Tools. In this session we're looking at how we can use Identify Beat to create a tempo map. Okay, so the tempo that a track usually, always starts in is 120 beats per minute, but when we play this track, if I just play a bit of it, it's very clear that's not the tempo. Okay, so what we want to be able to do is we want to get this track so it's in we're going to use this guitar track, should I say, to create a tempo map. And then in another video we'll chop up the drums so that they match up with this tempo map. Okay, so to start off with, it's good to just make one of the acoustic guitar tracks a bit larger that we have here. So this is the one that we're working on. And hopefully if you've watched previous videos, you'll know if I just zoom in at the beginning, you want your start to be of your acoustic guitar to be right at the start. You don't want it to have a gap, so make sure you've got rid of the gap if you haven't done so already. Okay, and a really useful thing to see, sort of so you can see this all happening, is to view the tempo. So over in this top left hand corner there's a sort of menu thing where it says bars and beats. We just click on there. This is where you could choose your minutes, seconds, etc. if you wanted to. But the one we're looking for is this tempo. So we click on the tempo there, and when we've got the tempo, you can see it says 120. We can click on this little triangle and it brings it down. So then we'll be able to see if this changes at all. So that's what we want to work with there. So I'll zoom out again. So what we want to be able to do, a quick way of being able to work through. Now, some people do just decide they count it out. You can do a tap tempo using the T key to tap the tempo out, but unfortunately that doesn't count for the guitarist going out slightly at all. And what a really good thing to do is just to get the whole tempo map done. Every sort of 4 bars is a good idea, so you've got 4 bars nice and tight, and then we'll sync up the drums with that. So we just need to take it slowly with this. So there's a couple of things we need to switch on. We need to switch on our tab to transients that we've looked at in other videos, and we need to put on our insertion follows playback, because we want the cursor to stop when we press stop and not jump back to the beginning. Okay, so what we're going to do is use this guitar part here, and I'm going to, with everything else playing, I'm going to count 4 bars, and then I'm going to press stop when I've done 4 bars. And we'll do that bit first, and then I'll go on to the next section. So I'll count out aloud so you know where I am. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, stop. Okay, let's zoom right in on that little bit there, and I'll just make the waveform a bit bigger. So I stopped it at the end as approximately as I could at the end of the 4 bars, and you can see that the cursor is here, and this is going to be the start of our new section on the new transient. So the best thing to do is just to hit the tab key now, and you can see that that goes to the next transient. Now don't worry if it's not exactly perfect or you think it could be a little bit better. Honestly, this is good enough for what we're doing. The next thing that is a useful thing to do is to switch your edit mode into grid mode. So if you remember at the top, we just switch on grid here, and then to switch on your grid, and we're going to put it on bars. Now at the moment the bars nowhere near, but this is because we've just counted out 4 bars of the actual real thing, and this is saying it's 120, but really it's not. So what we want to do now is we want to go back and select all of this. Now some people just try and grab this and it's approximate, but there's a couple of ways that you can do it a lot quicker. I'm just going to zoom out so that we can see the beginning of the track. Okay, so this is the beginning section, this is where our cursor is. So one way you can do it, if you hold down the Alt key, the Shift key, and then Tab, it will tab backwards and select. So that's sort of one way you can do it, and if you just hold down the tab key, that will do it nice and quickly. So I'm just going to I'm just going to put it back into slip mode a second and just tab again. So we're at the right point. An easier way that I've found is, instead of having to do that and go all the way back, is if you go up to this top section up here, where we've got which bar it is and everything, on the start one, if you type in 1 here, this will put it right to the beginning. And I'll zoom out again and then press enter, just so you can see this selection. So we've changed that to 1, we press enter, and that then has selected all of this exactly how we want it. So I find that a quicker way to do it. And I'll show you in a second why I've put the grid on, which makes it easier for the next step. So when you've done that, we want to identify beats. So it's Command I to bring that up. So add bar beats and markers, or it's in the event tab up here. So identify beat if you prefer using menus. And this is the menu that we've got. So we've got the start location, so this is where we're definitely starting, and we know our time signature is 4/4. And then we've got our end location. Now at the beginning it's saying, at the moment it's saying it's bar 6 beat 4 and some divisions. But we know that's not true. We know it's the end of the 4th bar, because we just counted out 4. So what we want to do is change this to 5. Now lots of people get confused with this, why not 4? But it's bar 1, 2, 5. So we're going right to the end of bar 5. That's officially what we're doing. So you want to do 1 and then 5. So click OK. And if I just zoom out of here, you'll see that this green section turned into a blue section, and the tempo has changed, and now it is 83 beats per minute approximately. And hopefully you can see as well that we've got our 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar, and we're starting on bar 5. Okay, so that was a nice easy way of being able to get the tempo for that 4 bars, and then we just repeat the process. So the reason that I said put it on a grid is sometimes it can be difficult to tab to this particular area again, and the easiest way, because we know that it's starting on bar 5, we can just click here and we've got that bar 5, because it can't go anywhere else if we've set the grid to 5. The other thing that you could have done as well, if I just select that again, is you could go up to the start again, type in 5, and that will bring you to the beginning. But I think just clicking in the vague area will probably do it. So now we count out the next 4 bars. Now they all will be almost the same. This track stays fairly similar, but this is sort of the best way to go about it. So we just do it again. So we press play and count 4 bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, stop. Okay, so if I just zoom in on there, we can see that it's almost at the right place, but not quite. So if I just tab again to those transients, and I think maybe, oh no, not to that one, so we were probably better before. So just tab to that one, and it's probably not going to let me tab anymore, so maybe this one is actually okay. But anyway, we've tabbed to that area. We go to the top, and this time instead of typing in 1, we type in 5, because that's where it's going, and that selects that region. Okay, so we've now got 4 bars, but it's just slight error. It should be up to 9, and it's not quite there. So we do Command I to open Identify Beat and change this to 9. So 9 will start at the beginning. We click OK, and we have a slight variance. I mean, not much at all really. We've got 83.0576 and 83.0671. But the more you do this, the more you'll find that there are a few discrepancies. Now, all you need to do is continue this, but I'm going to give you a word of warning. I'm not going to show you where it is, but approximately around this section there is an extra 2 counts than normal, so it's a 6/4, like a bar of 6/4. So say for example, I'm just going to pick this randomly, so say it was that section there. When you go to Command I, the start time signature you would change this so it'd be 6/4, for example, and it'd only be going to 1 bar. So say this was actually selected on 16, then this would go to 17. So it'd be 1 bar of that, and then the end it goes back to 4/4. So we can click OK on there, and you can see that, well, obviously I've not done it properly, but we've got a different change in the in the tempo there. So I'm not going to, like I said, work through it in this video, but it's just something for you to be aware of. It sort of does 4/4 until this section, and then there is a bar of 6/4, so you will need to change it. Okay, so I'll leave you to do the rest of that, and then in future videos I'll show you how you can then get the drums to match this tempo that we've had of the guitar. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.